Good afternoon. Welcome to our website, battleset.com, created by myself, Abraham Science, Javier Palomares, and Michael Cifuentes. The whole concept of our website was to create a place where online gamers could come in and interact with each other. They could sign up for tournaments, they could interact with other teams, set up competitions with other teams, and also come in and buy games, which we've included in this area. The sole purpose of for us to create revenue is from tournaments. As you can see here, we have a box that allows new users to come in and sign up for tournaments. So as you can see, this is our home page, and I will now demonstrate on what a potential member of our website would have to go through to register for the site. So now we click register, and as you can see, he's prompted with all these fields to populate. In this case, we have a user ready to sign up, so we hit create user. And as you can see, once the user is successfully signed on and meets the password criteria, they're prompted with a message saying that they're ready to go. So we now hit continue. Excuse me. And on the top left, as you can see, once the new user is registered, they are prompted with a welcome message. So in this case, it is my name. And now I'd like to explain the code behind the registration validator. So for the registration validator, we use a required field validator that it's used to validate the username. So if the user was to leave a space empty, they would be prompted with an error message that said that username is required. And also I'd like to point out the fact of the password. So in this case, we use a regular expression validator for the password. We used the validation expression validated the length of the password, which in this case the length had to be 7 or more characters, and also needed a non-alphanumeric character, so such as a question mark or a star would be okay. So now I'm going to take you back to the home page. Yes, so correction on the last demonstration of code for the registration validators. We actually demonstrated the login validators, but they're both the exact same, almost the exact same. They both validate the user credentials, and as well as the same for the password credentials. So moving on, I would like to explain more about the home page. I'd like to explain more of the design. I was mostly in charge of the CSS and the layout of our website. So as you can see at the top, we do have a custom logo, as you can see, all created in Photoshop. Right underneath that, we have a navigation toolbar that we use the sitemap with. So I would like to explain more of the navigation bar. So as we go to the sitemap, you can see that each tab is linked according to the tab. And in code 37, you can see the sitemap file. Also, in the master page, we demonstrate the navigation bar, CSS, and style. This is where the CSS was manipulated to be positioned at the position it was located at on the home page. Right underneath that, line 69, we see the site source to link them all together through the ID. So now I go back to the home page, and I'd like to add that we did use a master page for this, for our entire website. So again, to demonstrate some of it, our background image, this is the URL, the image path for the website, so each page can have the same layout and background. So I will now demonstrate more of the CSS code. We can go to our style sheet. In this place, I created the content. You can see the body. We have the height of the body. And also our logo, as you can see, we have commented this out, where it says our custom logo. This gives us the ID for our div tag, where we could manipulate the logo. And also the area where we put our content in, which was mostly this area. This entire area was our content. And also I may add that we did have a right nav and a left nav where we could divide up content to make it easier to design and focus on different aspects of the website. So I would like to demonstrate the right nav and the left nav CSS code. Which in this case we have listed out here. So now I'll take you back to the home page, and I will explain our video on click. So whenever you click an image, a new video trailer is started right above it in this area. So as the video is loading, I will demonstrate on the master page where, on our home page, we coded that. So in this area, we use an open source code with JavaScript, and we manipulated it to be accustomed to our website. So right in here we have the height and the width of the video player you see on the home page, right in this area. And also I may add that this code was mainly for the images to link to the video. So as you can see, this ID, also this ID, was the YouTube ID for each video. So every time an image was clicked, it would link to that YouTube video and soon play. Okay. Now, let me refresh and explained our image slider. As you can see, has a smooth transition between each game. Also available with click. I would like to demonstrate some of that code. which again we did use open source code for the image slider located in this area. And now I would like to pass this time to Javier, who will explain how a user can log in and purchase a game.
I will now show you how logged in users are able to purchase games from the home page. As you can see on the top left, we have a message that says you're logged in. Welcome, Hubs. This message is stating that the user is logged in, and I am currently logged in as an administrator. And just to point that out, on the navigation toolbar, the admin tab is now visible. Moving on the home page, in the middle of the page we have the games form. On this form, if we try to enter the form without submitting any values, we should get an error message. As you see, this error message was made with JavaScript and is prompting the user to select at least one item. I will now select one game. Actually, let's select two games just to show that our form validates more than one game. After I select those two games, I will submit it. This takes me to the process order page. Now on this page we have my order listed on top. On here we have a list of two games. We shows Call of Duty Ghost and Destiny. That should be $120. Now my form adds a shipping cost of $8, so the final cost will be $128. Now this code is located right here from line 40 to line 54 of the process order code behind page. What this is doing is pretty much looking through the selected items of the checkbox games ID, and I'm stringing each item, and I'm making a null variable. I'm also initializing my variable called sum to 0 and the variable shipping to 8, and I'm creating a for each loop here that goes through each selected item, and it adds the sum to the shipping, and we put the result on the label called total.text, and we convert it back to a string. And this is displaying a total of $128 on this form. Now if we try to purchase those games, we have to submit the payment form. This is a payment form. If we click submit order, you can see that the form has required field validators, so it won't let you submit empty values. And we can't see it right now, but the phone number text field is also validated. So if we want to enter characters, it'll give us an error message. Now this was made with a regular expression, so the phone number has to follow the exact format that I specified on here. So does the credit card. Now let's just say that we do enter the correct values into the form, and we click submit. And I got the CAPTCHA image wrong. Let's try it again. Now after you submit the order, everything gets saved to the database. Now I have a successful message here showing on each input field, just to say that everything is being saved in the purchase order table. But to prove this, we're going to go to the profile page. On the profile page, we're going to go to view orders. Now this is going to take you to the purchase history ASP.NET page. On this page we have a data grid control. Now this data grid control is returning all the orders for this particular user. As you can see, James Foster has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders. Now the last one we made was at 2:50 a.m. Now it should be right here. So our input values were successfully submitted. I will now show you how to update a user's free agent settings. To do that, we go back to the profile page. On the profile page, in the middle of the page, we have the free agent settings form. Now we'll submit a gamer tag for this user. We're still logged in as a user Hobbs. So just put Hobbs 79. Let's put this user for Xbox 360, and we're going to say that he is a free agent. We're going to update it. So basically, a free agent is just a person who's not in a clan and wants to join a clan. So now that we submitted this form, it updates the user information on the free agents tab. Now we'll click here. Now remember, the user that we updated was Hobbs and the gamer tag was Hobbs79. So this was successfully submitted on here because we see that it was updated on the Xbox 360 platform. Now the cool thing about this is that if I choose a different platform, it will bind to a different data grid. So if I chose PS3, it would have shown in the bottom. I will now show you the admin tab. As I said earlier, I am logged in as the admin, so the admin tab is now visible on the navigation toolbar. Now the navigation toolbar was created with a sitemap. But as you can see on the admin page, we are listing all the users that are registered on our website. Now Hobbs79 is listed on here because he is registered as a user. Now we don't see this, but there's a query that is stringing every user from 3 different tables because we have so many different columns listed out here. Now to show that, we're going to go to the database, and on here we have a query string that has 3 different inner joins. If we run this query, you can see that it's returning column attributes from 3 different tables. And this query is on the admin ASP.NET page. Let me show you. It's on the line 31. As you can see, I have the query string right here. I'm selecting user settings, username, user settings, gamer tag, email, clans.clan name. So I'm basically calling out different columns from different tables. But now that we tested out at the database level, we know that it works. And after we take that step, we simply copy the query string onto here. We go back to the data grid, and as you can see, our data grid works because if I refresh the page with F5, our data grid is still on there. Michael will now take over from here. Thank you.
Okay, so now I will demonstrate how a user will be able to sign up for a tournament. So a user has 2 ways to sign up for a tournament. You can either come down here to the bottom right of this current news box and click this link, the sign up link, and this will take you directly to the tournaments page. Or the user can also click here, and this will take you to the tournaments page where you can see the registration form below. This page right here has this box on the left which shows just basic information about the tournament, and then on the right here we have this button which shows the players that are registered already for the tournament, and there's also here this check rules button. Will take you to the rules page, and it just shows basic information about the rules of the tournament. So we'll go back, and here is the form here's the form that the user will fill out for the tournament. And as you can see, here's the first name, last name, basic information. And let me press submit or register here, and you can see how everything is validated. And Javier kind of went through some of this and showed how everything is validated. And so we're going to look at this right now. We'll look at the first name in the code, and I'll show you how it's validated. So we'll go over here, and I'll click here at the tournaments code, and let me go down here. We'll highlight this, and here, as you can see, this is the code behind that text box and the first name and everything. So as you can see, we used a regular expression for this, and also a required field validator. And so in this regular expression, you can see that we're validating this expression here. And so what it's validating is, the letters A through Z, low caps, and then A through Z uppercase, and then from there, we close it, and it's just going to validate that. So no numbers or anything like that can go in the text box, in the first name text box. And it goes the same for first name, city, and things like that, basic stuff like that. Like on zip code, we change it up to be just validating numbers, because a zip code only has numbers. So we'll go down to zip code right here. Go here, highlight this, and as you can see here, it's validating. The validation expression is showing that we're validating numbers 0 through 9 and things like that. It's all the it's only validating numbers, and it's wanting for you to choose 5 numbers. And this way, a user can't put in numbers, and they also have to put in, or a user can't put in letters, and also user has to put in 5 digits, a 5-digit zip code. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate the use of a credit card type. As you can see, we have a drop-down list here, and it's so a user can only choose from those that we give, those credit card types that we've listed. And so I want to show you the code behind that, and we'll go to credit card type here. Just go to split view really quick, and let's find it right here. This. Okay, and so here is the code for the credit card type. So you can see we made it a drop-down list, and then we made a list item for each of them. And so this way a user can just click the arrow, the drop-down list arrow, and it gives you a list of what we accept. And it also has a required field validator, so a user must put something in there, and this makes it easier, so a user doesn't have to type in and make a mistake. We just give them a specific choice, and they just choose, and from there they can process their order. So we'll go ahead and move on to credit card number. So the credit card number right here, this is actually something we had to work with for a while. It took a while to get it working, but we finally did. We also made this where the user has to type it in this format, and this will be showing every time when a user is trying to purchase an item or register for a tournament. This way they know exactly what type of format they're going to have to type in their number. And so we'll go to the code here for that. So here is the code behind the credit card number, and as you can see, we also have here required field validator and a regular expression. And in this regular expression, the validation expression was pretty tough to figure out, but we finally got it down. And so the way this works is it has to be a 16-digit number, otherwise it won't work. And also it can't have any special characters or letters, otherwise a credit card doesn't have that kind of stuff. And we also had to do this special format where it has the dashes included with it. And so if we go back to the code, I will demonstrate really quick. Here we have this all typed up and ready. I'll demonstrate really quick. If I were to, let's just say, let's add just letters and numbers and a special character, just things like that, it automatically says invalid card block because these things aren't allowed. And to even show something like this, you can see it has to be 16 digits for it to work. And if I use a special character also, it won't let it go through. So you have to use this specific format and it has to have those 16 digits. And so as you can see, it validates, everything's validated. We also included a CAPTCHA, which was from one of the assignments that we did in class. And we'll go ahead and process this. We'll hit register, and okay, let me might have gotten my CAPTCHA wrong. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, and as you can see, everything was saved into the database, the tournament registration database, and everything is saved. And one way we can verify this is, so we just registered for the tournament, so our we should show up in the players registered table that we've created. So we'll go ahead and click this button, the players registered button, and as you can see, this table now has Michael, Sif, and this automatically populates this table. And here's the other players that are registered. And the reason we have this is so players can see who's all going to be in the tournament and how many people are going to be in the tournament. Now I'm going to demonstrate how a user can change their password. So we're going to go here to change password, and it's going to take us to this new page. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you the code behind this before we actually before I demonstrate how it works. So we're going to go here to Visual Studios, and here is the code for changing the password. And so we use this change password ASP control, and this makes it a little bit simpler to implement this. And so we'll go ahead and go back to the change password page, and I'm going to go ahead and change my password. So my password was MS918236, and it was because you have to have a special character, and so my current password was that plus the special character, I think it was a quotation mark, or the exclamation mark. And so we'll go ahead and put in a new password. It's going to be the same thing, MS918, and we type in MS918236, and we're just going to change the special character just because I want to make it simple. And I'm going to change the, instead of exclamation mark, we're going to have an @ and so we'll have to do the same thing here. But before I do this, I'm going to go ahead and just show what would happen if I were not to choose or to type anything in the new password boxes. So we're going to hit this, and as you can see, this here, it says that this is required. So you have to fill this out to process the change password. And so right now I'm just going to throw in some random letters, just random stuff, and I'm not going to add a special character, just random letters. These are all just random letters. And so when I hit the change password, as you can see here, it's giving me a message saying that the new password and the confirmation new password must be the same. So that's another thing about this changing password that you have to have correct. You know, you can't have two different new passwords. And so we'll go ahead and I'll show you one more time how if I'm going to go ahead and type in the same password on each of the boxes, but this time I'm not going to put in a special character, and I think I might it might not be the minimum requirement length of the password. So let's just see, there we go. So we're going to get this message, and it says the length has to be 7. So we have to have 7 numbers or letters plus the non-numeric alphanumeric character. And so let's go ahead and just get this process ordered. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to type in the actual password that I currently have plus the new password, which is going to be MS91823, but just instead of the exclamation mark, we're going to add the @ as our special character, new special character, and we'll go ahead and change password, and there we go. As you can see, your password has been changed, and now I can even let's log out, and let's once this processes, give it a minute. Okay, so now I'll log back in with my new password, which is MS9182368 now, and log in. And as you can see, now I'm logged in. So you can see up here the username MS918236867 is logged in. And now, okay, so thank you for watching our video, and I hope you like our presentation of Battleset.com. Thank you.